everyone, back again. I haven't really been led to make any videos, even though a lot has gone on in the past few months. Um, I kind of was feeling discouraged, especially after seeing how many believers out there that I've had personal conversations with, giving them my testimony and then seeing them vote for or celebrate or push the one person I told them would literally bring, you know, the end of the world as we know it. And, it's really tough because you'd hope you'd have some sort of effect. You'd hope that talking with people, making these videos, warning them like, hey, you're a believer. You don't need to participate in these elections, which we could also call selections. And you can just stay out of it and remain neutral and not vote, which means to vow. If you go look up the etymology of the word vote, it means that you're vowing. And so you could stay out of it. But no amount of warning, no amount of testimony seemed to have worked. And it's very disheartening. And that's kind of the reason why, or one of the reasons why I haven't really made any videos recently. But today I'm back feeling led to make a video. So we are going to discuss the beast of the earth and kind of break down the verses and deep dive into this, because we're seeing somebody in particular fulfill these verses fairly well. And so we're going to go into that. I first want to preface this by saying you need to look at this from a spiritual perspective. How could these verses be fulfilled physically here on earth through a spiritual lens? Because, there's not much of Revelation that I see as physical imagery that is being fulfilled here on earth physically the way it is described in Revelation. And the reason I say that is because if you're going to be holding your breath for a long time, if you think there's going to be some beast creature that comes up out of the earth with two horns as a lamb and speaks like a dragon, if you're waiting for that actual thing to occur, you'll never see it. And so you've got to obviously use the Holy Spirit to determine what's going on and how this is going to be fulfilled. It's not going to be revealed to you. You're not going to be able to see it unless the Spirit allows you to see it. And so for many people, this video is going to be a waste of time, because if you allow the blinders over your eyes, if you don't allow the Spirit to show you what's going on in the world, then you'll never see it. And that's basically what I'm seeing. And so let's get into it. So we're taking a look at the beast from the earth, which starts with Revelation 13:11, and we're just going to go verse by verse and see how this is lining up with Elon Musk. And so it says, "And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon." And so spiritually, what are some signs that Elon Musk has two horns like a lamb? Well, we have this here. This is Satan kind of telling you who he is. And Elon Musk dresses up as a devil's champion for the New York Halloween party. And here he is with two horns as a lamb, a Baphomet, This is him being proud of his costume here. So, um, this is spiritual language here. We're just looking spiritually here for the signs on earth. And he spake as a dragon. So if you've ever listened to Elon Musk, he has very foul language. He curses a lot, and there's some examples of that, which I'll show you here. So Musk had a super PAC for Trump that used some crude sexist attacks against their opponent. And another example we have is that when advertisers were going to leave Twitter because of Elon Musk, he launched a profane attack on them using a lot of profanities. If you ever listen to him in the interviews, he uses a lot of vulgar language. That's how I see this being fulfilled, is, as a dragon, fire coming out of his mouth, like just being profane. That's what I'm seeing here as far as fulfilling these verses. Here in verse Revelation 13:12, and he exercises all the power of the first beast before him. So this takes a little bit of digging into, because at first I thought Putin, a couple years ago, I was thinking Putin was going to be this beast from the earth, that Putin was going to fulfill this because he had the same power of the first beast. So Trump and Putin are both presidents. They both control a large, powerful entity on earth. But now I'm seeing it differently, and that's because of just simple definitions of what's going on in this verse. So if we look at the Greek, that's why we're here in Blue Letter Bible. And so let's just double check what exerciseth mean. It means here, the most translations are the word do, or to make, and so to put forth. So the ability to act or do. So exercising is ability, is power. And so if he exercises all of the ability or power to do what? So the power, let's look at the word power. And this word really means, mostly translated as power, but the ability to do, the power of choice, and the liberty to do one as one pleases. And so at first I thought it was the power or rule over a government, which technically he does have some sort of power or rule over government if he gets to work with Trump side by side. But he wouldn't have the same level of authority technically, because he's not a president. So I'm leaning more towards that it's this first biblical outline of use, which is the liberty to do as one pleases. And the reason I say that, and here it says privilege, the strong definition is privilege, the capacity or freedom. And the reason I'm saying that it's literally just the ability to do one as one pleases is because they're both billionaires. Trump and Musk are both billionaires, and they have the liberty to do whatever they please. They have that power to do whatever they want. They have the power or liberty to do everything they please, and he's doing it. It says of the first beast before him. Really, this means in the presence of him, in the presence of the first beast, which would be Trump. So let's just look what that says here. So before, the word before him, it really just means in the presence of. So in the sight of. So these two people, the two beasts, need to be in the sight of each other, need to be next to each other, in the presence of each other. And so that's being fulfilled with Musk, more so than it was like with my previous understanding of Putin, because they're not really next to each other. They're not in the presence of each other. And we're clearly seeing here that the power, this second beast, needs to be done in the presence of the first beast. And let's continue looking at this verse here. It says, and he causes them and causes the earth and them that dwell within or therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. And so I'm seeing this causes the earth and them that dwell therein to worship the first beast as basically everything that Musk has been doing in the past few months, and even maybe over the past year and a half or so with the Twitter stuff, which we'll get into in a little bit. So he's causing them to, everyone on the earth, to worship the first beast. He's doing that with his campaigning, like the Elon Musk effect, how Donald Trump gained from a billionaire's support. So he's using the X platform as a megaphone for his supporters, and so this is him campaigning. He spent a lot of time and money in Pennsylvania, which helped the election, helped Trump win, and so that's how he's causing the earth and those that dwell in it to worship the first beast. Whose deadly wound was healed. Now, a lot of people, have different ideas on what this deadly wound is. But it's a wound, it's not actually death. It was deadly. The wound was deadly, but it wasn't death. He didn't die. And the reason why is a gunshot a deadly wound? Yeah, could be a deadly wound, but he didn't die. But that's not all the ways that we would look at this spiritually. And I've got a video. You can go see the 3 interpretations for the deadly head wound on my channel. And essentially, at this point, if it was a political head wound, it's been healed. He's now gained power again. He's won the election. If it was a judicial head wound, those prosecutions, those court cases against him are now all going to be dropped, or he's going to just pardon himself. And so those problems have gone away. And if you look at this gunshot wound that has been miraculously healed, he's healed at this point. That's what's happened. And it's that simple, really. So let's look at Revelation 13:13. And he does great wonders, so that he makes fire come down from heaven on earth in the sight of men. And so I want to break this down because I want everyone to understand what is going on here. So it says, and he does great wonders. So this in different translations come up as wonders, as miracles, or signs. And so if we look down here in the word wonders and we check that word, it literally means a sign, a mark or a token, that by which a person or a thing is distinguished from others and is known. So it is very, very plausible that he is doing great signs so that he makes fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men. So Musk is doing something that no one else has ever done before, that is distinguishing him from everyone else by having these rockets that can come down with fire down and land again on earth. And he's doing that in the sight of men. I did a video just the other day that you can go and watch, and at the very end of it, it shows an example of this, and these people are seeing it happen. And so this is not a miracle, and this is something that him, the person, the beast, Musk, is doing. He's making it happen. And it's coming down out of heaven, right? So there's 2 ideas of what heaven means in the biblical aspect. The heavens is either, especially in the Hebrew understanding, is that the heavens is the sky, or it's the heaven where the Heavenly Father dwells. So if it's coming out of the sky onto earth in the sight of men, you can go look that up about heaven. And so let's continue looking at this. So in verse 13-14, and he deceives them that dwell on the earth by those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast. So let's look at this word miracles. So those miracles, again, the same word, Simeon, which is signs. So this translation, it's very sad, because you've got the same word. You got here wonders, and then you got miracles. Why don't we use the same word? So for you KJV only people, look how this translation isn't even consistent. This is the same word, but it's different in the English. This should say great signs, and of those signs which he had power to do in the sight of the beast. So not to dwell on this much more, but he is deceiving those on earth by those signs. So there's a large following, a cult following of Musk. And so Musk has people in all sorts of camps, people that are car people that love the Tesla, people that love space and rocket ships. He's got them deceived. He's got people deceived in the technology field that love just all the AI stuff that he has to deal with. He's got people that are deceived by the money field, that he's created PayPal back in the day, and he loves digital currency and all of this stuff. So he is definitely showing all of these signs that he had power to do in the sight of the beast. So if you go watch the video that I released, there's a video about him doing the fire down from heaven, that Trump is saying that it was done in the sight of him, that Trump saw this happen. And so he's saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast, which had a wound by a sword and did live. And so there's a couple ways to look at this. It could be that this is still something that needs to be fulfilled, that moving forward, the image of the beast is either it's already there. I kind of lean towards Trump is the image of the beast. You know, the beast is, if we scroll up to the top, the beast is someone that's rising up out of the sea, having 7 heads, 10 horns, and on these horns are 10 crowns in the name of blasphemy, and he looks like a leopard, and feet of the bear, and a mouth of a lion. So, you know, this beast isn't going to look like that on earth, but the image of that beast is going to be likely Trump. So the image of Trump is being made. Like he comes in his own name, he's rich, he's powerful, he's famous, and those people are making an image to him, propping it up and making him more popular or famous or whatever. And he did have a wound by a sword and live. And this wound by a sword is plague, a wound. Let's look at that, because maybe not everyone's seen it. To them that they should make here, wound by a sword and live. Wound, plague. Greek is plague. That's where our word plague comes from. A public calamity, heavy affliction, plague. That's how it's used, but right here, plague, calamity. It's not like necessarily a wound like most people think. But then we come here and look at the word sword, which biblically the outline of usage for sword, for this word in Greek, is sword or knife. But here we see judicial punishment is part of the definition of it. So if we were looking at this, here it's plague of judicial punishment and survived. He came out of this. So yeah, if we look at it in a simplistic term, there has been an image of the beast, which is Trump, and he did survive a plague of judicial punishment. That's a simple explanation, but a lot of people think that, you know, Elon Musk has the ability to create some sort of AI image or some sort of robot that will look like Trump. That's a possibility too. Maybe it hasn't happened yet. We'll see. Now let's move on to Revelation 13:15. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. So Musk has the ability to give life unto the image of the beast. So this right here is how Musk brought back the image of the beast. The image was wounded, right? He was wounded politically and judicially 100%. The wound of his political career, he lost power as president, And Elon Musk campaigned for him and brought him back, gave him life, gave him power again, propped him back up by campaigning for him and doing interviews for him and stuff like this, right? So he was able to give life back into that beast. And judicially, this he had power to do this as well, because now that he's come back as powerful as president, he is able to pardon himself, and Jack Smith has already paused these investigations into him. So this is how he's been able to give life back into the image of the beast. I want to add in real quick here the spiritual significance of the physical head wound that Trump had experienced with the being shot in the ear, and how basically spiritually it looked as if he, and a lot of people, especially his supporters, had believed that Trump had fell and was dead. And if you listen to any of these interviews that Trump has done, or any of his huge supporters, a lot of people believe that when he got shot and he fell down, that he was dead. And so this happened in Butler, PA at a rally, right? But he survived this assassination attempt. But in a spiritual attempt to look like he resurrected, he came back to Butler, Pennsylvania to do another rally. And with him making his debut was Elon Musk as the dark MAGA supporter. And so this is huge, spiritually significant, the fact that Trump comes back to the same location as if he was resurrected, and his right-hand man, his false prophet, his beast of the earth, made his debut there to show his support, as if he was going to bring the life back into the image of the beast. I hope that makes sense. And so furthermore, the image that the image of the beast should both speak. And so this, I feel, is done through Twitter, because Trump was a huge voice on Twitter. His voice was followed by a lot of people. He had a huge following, and he was famous for what crap he would say on Twitter. And so when he got banned, he kind of lost his ability to speak in a spiritual sense, and it was restored when Musk purchased Twitter and restored his account and allowed him to speak on there again. And so here, I don't know if this is, obviously this doesn't seem to be fulfilled yet, and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. And so, if people aren't worshiping Trump, eventually maybe Musk will cause those people to be killed. I don't know that this is fulfilled yet, and maybe this is something we have to look forward to and watch out for. So to end this off, this is talking about the mark at the very end. It really makes me wonder if the all these people that believe 100% that the vaccine is the mark of the beast, I'm not sure that can be true necessarily, because it does appear that if Musk is the one fulfilling these verses, that Musk would be the one that pushes this mark. And if that's the case, then we still have something in the future that Musk is probably going to push, which he's the perfect person to do that for, right? He's got the technology. He does things with the money on digital platforms. He's got tracking through all of his satellites in the sky. He implants, microchips in people's heads and stuff like this. And so maybe there's still something to come. But at the same time, I lean towards more of a spiritual fulfillment of this. I've made videos on it. Go find my 2 videos that I made. One on how the mark is spiritual, and how how the buying and selling aspect works with this spiritual mark. And it's all using scripture and Bible verses. So, I'm not just coming up with a theory. It's using, the Bible as the interpretation of what this mark is talking about. So this is the end of the video. Just share it if you think it makes sense, if you think this will help someone that just is still on the fence, or might be seeking, like might be thinking that things aren't right now, and hopefully this will help somebody. Just right now, times aren't good, and you really need to be working on your faith and your relationship with the Messiah. And I just pray that everyone just seeks that. If you have anyone in your family or friends that aren't believers, start speaking the gospel into their life, and because I really do think time is short. Thanks, everyone.